I checked my phone again. 3 missed calls from my mother in the past hour, and now a text. We need to talk. It's important. Call me back. I sighed, sliding the phone back into my pocket as I gathered my laptop and notes. The quarterly review presentation had gone well, better than well. My boss had practically beamed when I'd finished walking the team through the new client acquisition numbers. 2 years at Horizon Marketing, and I'd finally hit my stride. Hey, we're heading to Russo's to celebrate. You coming? Alan leaned against my cubicle wall, eyebrows raised in expectation. I should. But I've got some family stuff to deal with. I gestured at my phone, which had started vibrating again. Rain check? Your loss. Dan's buying the first round. Alan shrugged, offering a sympathetic smile before heading toward the elevator. I waited until the office had emptied before returning my mother's call. Finally, my mother answered, exasperation evident in her voice. I've been trying to reach you all afternoon. I was in meetings. What's going on? Is everything okay? Everything's fine. Better than fine, actually. Listen, we're planning Noah's birthday next month, and I wanted to talk to you about contributing. I relaxed slightly. Of course it was about Noah. My half-brother was turning 16, and if there was one thing my mother excelled at, it was throwing elaborate parties for her son, the child of her second, more successful marriage. Sure, I can chip in for a gift. What's he into these days? Still those video games? Well, that's just it. Mom's voice took on the saccharine quality I had learned to dread. We're thinking of something a bit more substantial this year. Robert and I were talking, and since Noah's turning 16. Mom, what exactly are you asking? We want to get him a car. I nearly dropped my phone. A car? He's 16. Exactly. 16 is when kids start driving. You remember how excited you were when you got your first car. I bought my first car myself, when I was 19, with money I saved working at the mall, I reminded her. And it was a decade-old Honda with 100,000 miles on it. Well, yes, but things are different now. And Noah's been doing so well in school, all as this semester. He deserves something special. I closed my eyes, counted to 3. I'm sure he does, but a car is a big purchase. What exactly are you thinking? Robert found a beautiful pre-owned Audi. The dealer's a friend of his from the club, so we're getting a great deal. 28,000. The figure landed like a stone. $28,000? Mom, that's... We know it's a substantial amount, Mom cut in. But Robert and I will be covering most of it. We thought, since you're doing so well at your job now, your promotion and everything, you might want to contribute. Maybe 10,000? My jaw tightened. The promotion I'd mentioned offhandedly to my mother 2 weeks ago hadn't even come with a significant raise, just a little more money, with lots more responsibility and the promise of a better title. And $10,000 wasn't contributing, it was funding over a third of an extravagant gift for a teenager I saw maybe 3 times a year. Mom, I can't give you $10,000. Can't, or won't? The sweetness in her voice had evaporated. Because from what I understand, you're finally making good money at that marketing firm. And it's not like you have children of your own to support. That's not fair. I felt heat rising in my cheeks. I have my own expenses. My student loans alone. Oh, those again. Harper, you've been paying those for years. Surely by now. I have 6 years left on them, minimum. Plus rent in the city isn't cheap, and I'm trying to build some savings. Savings for what? You're not even dating anyone seriously. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath. My financial situation isn't really the point here. I'd be happy to get Noah something for his birthday, maybe the new gaming system he's been talking about. But I can't contribute to a car. Especially not one that costs almost as much as I make in half a year. The silence on the other end was brittle. Your brother would be devastated. He looks up to you, you know. I doubt Noah expects me to help buy him a luxury car, Mom. No, because he doesn't think about money the way you do. He's not calculating. The accusation stung, but I had grown accustomed to these subtle jabs. Ever since my mother had remarried when I was 10 and Noah was born 2 years later, there had been a clear delineation. Robert's household operated on abundance, while I, a relic from the leaner years, was expected to understand limitations. I'm sorry, Mom. I just can't do it right now. Fine. Her voice had gone cold. I'll tell Robert you weren't interested in being part of Noah's special day. I'm sure he'll understand, even if Noah won't. The call ended before I could respond. I stared at my phone, a familiar knot forming in my stomach, the one that always appeared after conversations with my mother. The emails started 2 days later. First from my mother. I've been thinking about our conversation. Perhaps I wasn't clear about how important this is to Noah. He's been talking about you lately, wondering why he doesn't see his big sister more often. This would mean so much to him, Harper. Please reconsider. We can work out a payment plan if that helps. Then from Robert, my stepfather. Diane mentioned you're hesitant about Noah's gift. I understand fiscal responsibility, it's a value I've built my business on. But family is the best investment you can make. Noah admires you tremendously. Think about the relationship you're building with him for the future. I responded politely but firmly to both, reiterating that while I cared for Noah, I simply couldn't contribute the amount they were asking for. I offered again to purchase a separate gift within my budget. The texts came next. Photos of Noah at school events, Noah looking at cars online, Noah with his friends. He's growing up so fast, my mother wrote. These years are so precious. They're manipulating you, Chelsea said over drinks the following Friday. My oldest friend had witnessed the entirety of my complicated family dynamic. Classic guilt trip. I know, I sighed. But it's working. I feel terrible. Why? Because you won't drain your savings for a teenager who probably wouldn't appreciate it anyway? Noah's a good kid, but he's been spoiled rotten. He has, I agreed. But he's still my brother. Half-brother, Chelsea corrected. And more importantly, you're not responsible for giving him a luxury car. Your mom and Robert make 4 times what you do, they can afford it without you. Then why are they pushing so hard? Chelsea took a sip of her wine. Because it's never been about the money. It's about making you part of their system, the one where you're always giving and they're always taking. I knew my friend was right. Still, I sent Noah a text that night, asking about school and his upcoming birthday. His response was enthusiastic but brief, with no mention of cars or expectations. It made me wonder how much of this was really coming from him at all. The next phase of pressure came when my mother and Robert invited me to dinner, a rare occurrence. The restaurant was expensive, the kind of place where Robert could casually greet the maitre d' by name. Noah was conspicuously absent. He's at a study group, Mom explained, though I hadn't asked. Advanced placement classes are demanding. The conversation remained pleasant through appetizers, touching on my work and Robert's recent golf tournament. It wasn't until the main course arrived that my mother steered toward the inevitable. We've been thinking about what you said, about your financial situation. She dabbed her lips with her napkin. And we want to help. I set down my fork. Help how? Robert leaned forward. Your mother tells me you're still carrying quite a bit of student debt. That must be a burden. I'm managing it. Of course you are. You've always been responsible. He smiled in a way that didn't quite reach his eyes. But we thought we might be able to work out an arrangement. What if we helped refinance your debt? Get your payments lower. In exchange, you could contribute to Noah's gift. I stared at them. You want to trade refinancing my student loans for me buying Noah a car? We'd be helping each other, my mother said quickly. Family supporting family. I appreciate the offer, but no. My loans are my responsibility. And I still can't afford to contribute what you're asking for Noah's car. Can't, or won't? It was the same accusation my mother had leveled before, but this time it came from Robert. Because I've taken the liberty of looking at comparable positions at firms similar to yours, and the compensation packages are quite generous. The violation of privacy made my cheeks burn. My finances are not up for discussion. They are when they impact the family, Mom countered. Noah deserves parents who don't measure his worth by the price tag of his birthday gifts, I snapped, then immediately regretted my tone. I'm sorry. That was unfair. Yes, it was. My mother's expression had hardened. I don't think you understand how hurtful your selfishness is. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done for me? I couldn't help the incredulous laugh that escaped. Mom, you haven't helped me financially since I was 18. I put myself through college. I found my own apartment. I built my career with no connections from either of you. That's not true, she protested. We've always been supportive. Emotional support isn't the same as financial support. And that's fine, I've never expected or asked for money from you. So I don't understand why you expect it from me now. Robert signaled for the check, effectively ending the conversation. The drive home was silent, tension filling the car. When they dropped me off, my mother didn't get out for the customary hug. Instead, she rolled down the window. Think about what we said. About family. The window slid back up before I could respond. The email from my bank came 2 weeks later. A notification of attempted access to my savings account. Someone had tried to initiate a transfer, triggering the security protocol I'd set up years ago. I called the bank immediately, pulse racing. The customer service representative confirmed the attempt had been blocked, but the details sent a chill through me. The person had known my security questions. They'd known about my first pet's name, my childhood street address, the model of my first car. Was it done online or in person? I asked. It appears the attempt was made in person, at the Lake Avenue branch, the representative told me. But since they couldn't provide the secondary authentication code sent to your phone, the transaction was denied. Lake Avenue. 3 blocks from my mother and Robert's house. I felt sick. There was only one explanation: they had tried to access my account without my knowledge. They'd tried to take my money, nearly $10,000 according to the representative, without my consent. I called my mother, hands shaking. Harper, hi. I was just thinking about you. We're finalizing plans for Noah's party and someone tried to withdraw money from my savings account today. I cut her off. At your local branch. The silence on the other end confirmed everything. Mom? Was it you? Or Robert? Harper, you're being dramatic. No one tried to. Don't. The bank already confirmed it. Someone who knew all my personal information tried to transfer exactly the amount you asked me for. $10,000. Another pause. Robert thought. We thought you might have reconsidered. We were going to surprise you with the paperwork for the car. Have your name included as a gift giver. The casual way my mother justified attempted theft made my blood run cold. That's not reconsidering, Mom. That's stealing. Don't be ridiculous. We're family. And it's not like you're using that money. You said yourself you're just saving it. I'm hanging up now. Don't call me again. My voice was steady despite the tremor in my hands. And if you ever try to access my accounts again, I'll press charges. You wouldn't dare, my mother gasped. Over a misunderstanding? Harper, be reasonable. Goodbye, Mom. I ended the call, then immediately called my bank to change all my security questions and passwords. Next, I called a lawyer, a college friend who'd gone into family law. I needed to know my options if things escalated further. That night, I blocked my mother and Robert's numbers. The only family contact I kept was Noah's, though I didn't reach out immediately. I needed time to think, to plan my next move carefully. 3 days later, Noah texted me, "Mom says you're mad about my birthday. Are you coming to the party?" I stared at the message for a long time. Noah was innocent in all this, a 16-year-old caught in the middle of adult conflicts. But he was also the product of his environment, raised with expectations of privilege that I couldn't, and wouldn't, fulfill. "I can't make the party," I wrote back. "But I'd like to take you to lunch sometime soon, just us." Noah's response was delayed but agreeable. We arranged to meet the following weekend at a pizza place he liked. When I arrived, he was already there, scrolling through his phone with the focused attention only teenagers could muster. He'd grown since I'd last seen him, his frame lankier, his features sharper. "Hey," I said, sliding into the booth across from him. He looked up, offering a half-smile. "Hey." We ordered a pepperoni for him, Hawaiian for me, before the inevitable questions started. "So why are you fighting with Mom and Dad?" The directness was pure Noah, one of the things I'd always appreciated about him. "It's complicated." "Is it about my car?" He took a sip of his soda. "Because I told them I don't need anything that fancy." "Seriously?" The sincerity in his voice gave me pause. "Did you really?" He shrugged. "Yeah. I mean, the Audi would be cool and everything, but most of my friends are driving their parents' old cars or saving up themselves." I was kind of embarrassed when Mom started talking about it, to be honest. I studied him. "Noah, did they tell you they asked me to pay for part of the car?" His eyes widened slightly. "What?" "No. They said you didn't want to be involved in my birthday. That you were too busy." "That's not true." I took a deep breath. "They asked me to contribute $10,000 toward the Audi. When I said I couldn't afford it, well, they tried to take the money anyway." "Take it how?" "They tried to withdraw it from my bank account without permission." Noah's expression shifted from confusion to disbelief. They wouldn't do that." "They did. The bank stopped them." I could see him processing this, the conflict playing across his face. "I'm not telling you this to turn you against them, but I needed you to know why I won't be around for a while." The pizza arrived, momentarily pausing the conversation. Noah picked at a slice, his appetite apparently diminished. "I've been thinking," Harper continued carefully, "about your future. College is expensive, and I know Mom and Robert have probably set aside money for that. But I'd like to help too, in my own way." "You don't have to." "I want to. Not for a car, but for something that will last longer." She pulled out a folder she'd brought with her. "I'm setting up a trust fund for you. You'll be able to access it when you turn 25, but only if you complete college or vocational training first." Noah stared at the folder. "Why 25?" "Because by then, you'll know what you really want to do with your life. And you'll appreciate having a financial cushion when you're establishing yourself." "Does Mom know about this?" "No. And there are specific conditions that prevent them from accessing the money. It's for you, Noah. Only you." He was quiet for a moment. "How much?" "I'm starting with $5,000. It's not a fortune, but I'll add to it over time. By the time you're 25, it should be substantial enough to help with whatever you decide to do." Noah looked thoughtful. "And what if I don't go to college?" "Then vocational school, or an apprenticeship. Something that gives you skills and direction. I'm not particular about what path you choose, just that you choose one with purpose." The conversation shifted after that, moving to safer topics, school, friends, the video games he was currently obsessed with. By the time they finished lunch, the tension had eased somewhat. As they parted, Noah surprised her with a quick hug. "Thanks," he mumbled. "For lunch. And the other thing." Harper smiled. "No problem. We're still family, Noah. Just on different terms now." The fallout was immediate and explosive. My mother called from a new number that evening, voice trembling with rage. "What did you tell him?" Noah came home asking all sorts of questions about the car, about your money. What lies have you been spreading? I told him the truth, I replied calmly. Something you should have tried. How dare you undermine us with him? After everything. I'm done having this conversation, Mom. I've made my decision. Noah knows about the trust fund, and he knows it's contingent on conditions that you can't control. That's all there is to it. We'll contest it. Robert knows plenty of lawyers who. You're welcome to try. But the trust is ironclad, and attempting to break it will only reveal to Noah exactly why I set it up this way. Is that really what you want? The silence that followed was answer enough. When my mother spoke again, her voice had shifted from anger to negotiation. We can work this out, Harper. Come over for dinner next week. Robert's willing to forget this misunderstanding if you are. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was attempted theft. And no, I won't be coming to dinner. You can't cut us off completely. We're still Noah's parents. You'll have to see us eventually. Maybe. But it will be on my terms, not yours. I ended the call, blocking her new number immediately afterward. Over the next few weeks, the attempts at contact continued, emails from Robert's work address, messages passed through mutual acquaintances, even a letter by certified mail outlining all the ways I was damaging the family with my selfishness. I ignored them all. The hardest part was maintaining my relationship with Noah while keeping my distance from our mom and Robert. We met occasionally for lunch or snacks, having careful conversations that skirted around the conflict but never directly addressed it. I could tell he was torn, loyal to his parents but increasingly aware of the manipulation I'd escaped. On his birthday, I sent him a card with a modest gift card inside, enough for a few new video games, but nothing extravagant. The trust fund is growing, I wrote. Your future is the gift I'm investing in. He texted a thank you, along with a photo of his actual birthday gift from our parents, not the Audi, but a used Toyota that made more sense as a first car. They said they reassessed their priorities, his message read. Whatever that means. I smiled at the small victory. It wasn't about the car, it never had been. It was about breaking a cycle of control and entitlement, about teaching Noah a different way to view money and family obligations. 3 months after the attempted theft, I received an unexpected email from Noah, sent from a new email address his parents didn't know about. Mom and Dad still talk about you all the time, he wrote. Mom especially gets angry when your name comes up. But I've been thinking about what you said about choices and responsibility. I got a job at the mall, just weekends for now. I'm saving up. Not sure for what yet, but it feels good to have my own money. Anyway, thanks for the trust thing. I'm definitely going to college. I want to make it worth it. I read the email twice, a sense of quiet satisfaction settling over me. The revenge, if it could be called that, wasn't in the dramatic confrontation or the severing of ties with my mother and Robert. It was in this, in showing Noah another path, in breaking the patterns that had defined my own relationship with money and family obligation. The trust fund wasn't just a financial investment, it was an investment in a different kind of future for both of us. One where manipulation and entitlement had no place, where boundaries were respected, and where support came without strings attached. It would take years to fully unfold, 9 more until Noah could access the funds I was setting aside. 9 years of watching from a distance as he grew into adulthood, hopefully absorbing the lesson I'd tried to teach, that true family support wasn't measured in luxury cars or elaborate parties, but in respect, honesty, and genuine care for someone's long-term well-being. Please like and subscribe for more great revenge story videos. We appreciate your support. We'd love to hear your family drama revenge stories. Please feel free to share in the comments.